Hey guys, Meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this Sunday mountain weather update. My first stop is to radar because I want to show you the current state of affairs. This is our rich flow of moisture. This is our moderate intensity atmospheric river flow. Notice there's a lot of rain, but there is some snow, but only at the highest of elevations. You've got some rain, snow affecting northern Washington, and notice there's that one piece of energy, one storm system that's going to break loose and kind of travel down through Idaho, and then eventually all of this will hit the Tetons as well. Some of this, a very light amount, will brush the Wasatch and the northern mountains of Colorado. So that's the current state of affairs on radar. Let me just kind of drill down just a little bit, and I want to take you to Schweitzer, which is up in northern Idaho, in line for a lot of snow, but only higher on the mountain. So 35 degrees right now at the base. This was always my worry, the rain snow line. How high of elevation are we gonna have to worry about this? So 35 at the base with rain being reported there. But then you go to the summit and it's 31 and it's snowing. And they've had 5 inches in the last 24 hours higher on the mountain. I mean, you could potentially see a couple of feet of total accumulation at the summit. The base is really going to be a struggle because of just how warm it is and how high the rain snow line has been pushing. I mean, this is just a warm atmospheric river flow. I mean, this is what tends to happen with these ARs. It tends to bring in a lot of warm air, a lot of latent heat, and it really brings that rain snow line up to a very high elevation. Okay, let me take you to water vapor satellite imagery. So in the low levels, the oranges and reds are going to be your drier air. The moisture is in the whites and the blues. And let me go over to my lime green. So this is your rich flow directed into this area. There are different storm systems. You can see little areas of spin associated with this. There's another one right there, potentially another one back here. So a little piece of this is going to break off, and it's going to move down through the remainder of Idaho, and then it's going to hit the Tetons. On the way through, it will brush the northern mountains, the Wasatch of Utah, and also the northern mountains of Colorado. So that's really what's next. Now, further down the road, it's going to be a long stretch with this big dome of high pressure right here for the desert Southwest. This will protect a lot of Southern California, the Four Corners, Southern Colorado, Southern Utah, a lot of New Mexico and Arizona from activity until, and that actually just will roll me right into my bullet points, until we get to about 3-2 and 3-3. That's when I think the pattern will start to shift a little bit and we'll get an actual storm system for most of the West. And then high pressure will break down. So our moist flow for the Pacific Northwest, BC, Idaho, Montana, the Tetons continues into 225. The rain snow line up in Revelstoke, it's up to about 4,800 feet. And you've still got good moisture yet to go. Central Idaho's up to 6,000 feet. That's pretty high. Northern Idaho's up to about 5,000 feet or so, and that's where northwest Montana is as well, up to about 5,000 feet. That's your rain snow line. So it could be rain or rain snow at a lot of the base areas, and then heavy snow mid-mountain and higher. Here's my snow timeline. Best odds of snow for Big Sky, the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, interior BC, the Pacific Northwest, Tahoe, and the Northeast. For example, in Big Sky, you've got moderate to heavy snow, basically this afternoon, tonight, and into the 25th. And then moderate with that storm, that pattern change on 3-2. In the Wasatch, you may get some light snow accumulation this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, and then potentially heavy 3-2, 3-3. And the Tetons heavy, it's developing, it's on its way later today through the 25th, and then light 3-2, 3-3. Colorado, it is light on the 25th and then potentially heavy on 3-2, 3-3. So that's really Colorado's next best hope is 3-2, 3-3. Interior BC, your good snow continues into the morning of the 25th at higher elevations, and then moderate 3-1, 3-2. Pretty similar right there for the Pacific Northwest. Tahoe, it's going to be a long wait until about 3-2. In the Northeast, there's a few different chances of snowfall accumulation. Okay, let me take you to Alta, Utah. Forecast Mediagram. This is effective about 9,000 feet. Okay, as far as snowfall goes, so that's today, Sunday the 23rd, right there in that column. It does have snow brushing the area this evening, tonight, into tomorrow morning, and a second little wave the afternoon of Monday the 24th into early 25. And this accumulates about 3 inches. So that fits with what I was saying yesterday, about 1 to 3 inches for a lot of the Wasatch, and that's probably going to do it. Mild today up there at 34. Tomorrow, 34, and then a little bit cooler on Tuesday. So a couple of pretty warm days up there at 9,000 feet. Alta, Snowbird, Solitude, and also Brighton. Okay, let me take you up to Jenny Lake, Wyoming. So this is effective about 86, 8,700 feet up there at Jenny Lake. Um, and it's got great snow coming in later today. Snow intensifies. It snows hard overnight into tomorrow morning, and then it starts to let up during the day. This forecast, this model accumulates about a foot of snow, and the winds are going to be gusty this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, up to 50 miles per hour at times, maybe even 55 miles per hour. High temps today, pretty warm at about 28. Tomorrow, about 31, and then the temperatures drop Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, let me take you to the Jetstream forecast because there's a lot to talk about here with the pattern. So what I'm looking for on the Jetstream map are the brighter colors. These are the steering winds at about 30,000 feet, the Jetstream level. And so I'm looking for the brighter colors, the higher winds. This is really the storm track. And right now, I start this at 11 o'clock today. All of the activities up in the Pacific Northwest, BC, parts of Washington, Idaho, Oregon, Montana, and then eventually it's going to steer it into the Tetons. So let me push this ahead. All right, late today. There's tomorrow at 11 a.m. There is late tomorrow. Same kind of flow, very rich across the northern tier of states in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, this is, let's go early on the 25th. Okay, on the 25th, you can almost see a little dip in the jet coming out of the Pacific Northwest, drops down into a lot of Idaho, Wyoming, and then it crosses Colorado. It brushes Colorado, I should say. So there's a brush to the Wasatch and a brush to the central to northern mountains of Colorado, and then it's out of here. Then we get the big ridge of high pressure, the killer. Here it is. Warm and dry across a lot of the west through late February. A little bit of a cutoff low kind of sliding through California, but appears to have very little impact. There is 11 a.m. on March 1st. There's 3-1. There is 3-2. Now, what's interesting is that cutoff comes in and does kind of open the door, and it might have moisture with it. That might be part of the indication here that while the northern branch, and this is going to be a problem, the northern branch is arcing way to the north, means it's locking away the cold air. So what's happening here is that the southern branch is starting to take over. It's starting to take control. So it's streaming in moisture, and that cutoff low, when it comes out of California, starts to gain a little bit of momentum, and that may help to steer some of that moisture in for 3-2 and 3-3. That's exactly what happens. That opens the door because here comes an actual storm system into California. This is early on the 3rd of March. Look at the area of low pressure hitting California. So that's going to open the door for that pattern shift on 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. The only issue I see is that the northern branch, the polar jet, it kind of locks away the cold air. That might be a problem. Okay, let me see. Here is snow accumulation over time. So on this map, the light blues are your lightest snows, 3 inches or less. Greens are 3 to 6, yellow 6 plus, red is 10 plus. We'll start at 11 o'clock today. All your heavy snows up in the Pacific Northwest, Idaho, Northwest Montana, and moving in to the Tetons right there. Late today, kind of brushes the Wasatch, brushes the northern mountains of Colorado. There's 11 a.m. on Monday the 24th. So Monday's going to be a powder day across the Tetons. And probably Tuesday as well. This is late on Monday. All that moisture still hitting the Pacific Northwest. And here we are late on the 25th. Little wave drops out, and then we're under high pressure. I'm just going to roll this through. Here's late on the 27th. The Northeast continues to get kind of a few different waves or clippers. There's another one sliding in right there. This is late on March 1st. There's the evidence of that cutoff low starting to kind of roll into the four corners. This is 3-1. Here's late on 3-2. Here's late on 3-3. Now you can see what's happening. So that southern branch starts to energize, brings in extra moisture. We start to get some snow accumulation across the west. 3-2, 3-3, and 3-4 with a storm system. All right, my forecast numbers. All of today through the 2nd of March, 1 to 3 inches for the Wasatch, up to 12 for the Tetons, looking really good. And of course, you've got a nice storm system for 3-2, 3-3. So that's something to look forward to down the road. In Colorado, very little accumulation. 1 to 2 inches across the I-70 corridor north, mainly just getting brushed. Maybe 1 or 2 down in northern New Mexico, southern Colorado. Pretty good numbers up through Montana, especially northwest Montana, where you can get over a foot of accumulation, but the cost of that is a high rain snow line. A couple of feet up there for Brundage and Schweitzer, but only at higher elevations. Interior BC, generally 10 to 20 inches, 6 to 10 through parts of Banff, Sunshine, Marmot Basin, 1 to 2, maybe 3 feet for the Pacific Northwest, and a little bit of snow late in the period for parts of the Sierra. Okay, let me take you to the Northeast. So the big numbers are up in Vermont and northern New York State. 6 to 12 inches through a lot of Vermont, 3 to 6 for New Hampshire and Maine. Upstate New York, 8 for Snow Ridge and Whiteface. So a couple of waves, at least a few, 2 to 3 different waves will come through and accumulate this, so it doesn't all happen at one time. Okay, back to the west. We've got the rich flow in the Pacific Northwest, and then eventually we've got this low coming down, which will affect Idaho and nail the Tetons here very soon. Guys, thanks for tuning in here. Always appreciate it. Take care and have a great day.